Hello everybody and welcome to another top 5 records video. Today I'm gonna be talking about the best 5 albums from 1968. A very experimental year which has some of my most intriguing personal favorites. Now, I'm gonna kick the list off immediately with this beautiful, beautiful gem. SF Sorrow by the Pretty Things. It's an awesome album. And it's a very important album because this is the first rock opera ever. This album tells the tale of a guy who it's sort of like a coming of age story, and I'm gonna keep it short, but he falls in love with a girl, and he watches the girl die in a Zeppelin accident, and loads of other songs, loads of that. It's a tough story to understand, but it is at its core a very important album for example, Pete Townsend and other bands to start telling stories as in concept albums. Now, it's not just because of its historical value that I enjoy this album. It is an amazing experiment sound-wise as well. And it sounds so inviting, so intriguing. There are so many awesome melodies, both in vocals as in guitars. Sounds are coming from everywhere. It's just so catchy, so interesting, but nothing you have listened to before. This is a unique record. Great album. Once you put it on, you'll fall in love with it. Now, trying to find an original UK version of this, it's very tough. I'm trying to find a mono one because this album is supposed to be even better sounding in mono. But this pressing, this is a recent Mad Fish 2016 reissue from the analog tapes. And, well, it sounds awesome. It is an awesome sounding reissue. Can't compare it to an original, of course, but if you put this on, you'll fall in love with the sound. So this is the kind of reissues we need. Not expensive, 20-25 bucks, great sounding reissue. I'd say audiophile quality. Awesome album, awesome sounding. Put this on and you'll experience something quite new and you'll fall in love with it. On number 4 spot, The Kinks, the Village Green Preservation Society. Masterpiece, masterpiece. I love The Kinks. Yet this album has not a lot of my favorite songs, like Death of a Clown, Girl You Really Got Me Going. This is not one of those hit albums. But it is, as a whole, an amazing album. Also, this album is also a concept. The Kinks chose not to go to the US. They had all sorts of problems there. But you notice in the lyrics that this band, in its heart, wants to be in England, is British. And they decide to dive deep into nostalgia, think about it, be critical about it. But there is a deep nostalgic love, and it comes back in songs like Picture Book, Do you Remember Walter, Animal Farm. It's such a beautiful, beautiful British record, and it is of the utmost beautiful, brilliant quality. The pressing I have here is the mono pressing from the mono box. There's this beautiful Kinks mono box released a couple of years ago. They should do a reissue of that box because it goes for most horrible prices on Discogs. It's amazing. Everybody should be able to buy that box. I've also got a 70s pressing of it in stereo. This stereo pressing isn't bad. It also sounds good. But this album in mono, quite the experience. And really, this was a different side of the Kinks. I wasn't used to it. Started listening to it, and it just... I madly fell in love, and the emotions for this album, it just go so deep. Beautiful album. Beautiful album. On number 3, another album that really goes deep into my heart. The Mothers of Invention were only in it for the money. And when I show this is the first German pressing from 1968. This should have been the inlay of the album. Frank Zappa actually wanted this to be the inside of the record. So the inside of the record is actually the outside of the record. Now how come? Because, do you see? How do I? You know what? This is how I'm gonna put it. This should have been the cover because Frank Zappa thought it would be a nice, funny little Sgt. Pepper spoof. Great joke, by the way. So he called Paul McCartney and asked him, you know what? Do you mind if we do this spoof? I just really like to make a joke about Sgt. Pepper's. To which Paul McCartney replied something like, yeah, but why don't we ask the managers? And he's like, well, but the managers work for us, don't they? And Paul McCartney just hung up the phone. So he just put it as an inlay. Brilliant album. Brilliant album. Has so many great melodies, so many great tunes. Zappa is experimenting. There are so many great, lovely songs. I think this is my favorite Mothers of Invention album. But I'm not sure. And I should do a Mothers of Invention top 5 video. I mean, apart from a Frank Zappa video, I also think I should do a Mothers of Invention video. Because, of course, Zappa might have been dominant, but there's a difference to it. And Zappa had made so many records, so why not do a standalone video in that regard? We're only in it for the money. Masterpiece. Beautiful. Second spot, the number 2 spot of 1968. And it took me some time to get into this record. But now, I love Odyssey and Oracle. Why did it take me some time? I put it on, listened to it once or twice, and I enjoyed it. I thought, oh, this is a nice kind of hippie sounding album. Yeah, it's okay. I enjoy it. Time of the season, nice final song, which, by the way, beautifully recorded, beautiful sounding song. And then I listened to a podcast of it, and the value of this, and that the fact that the zombies were actually breaking up, and they were on a certain level much more experimenting, something new was going on, but this was their final album. They were about to say goodbye. It's this very strange thing going on, and people have been talking about the quality of the songs. So I put it on again, and slowly but surely, I was drawn into this record. And I listened to other reviews, and reviewers saying that this was actually better than Sgt. Pepper's. Well, I always think it's tough to compare albums, but there is a Sgt. Pepper kind of quality to this. There is, as a whole, something in this record which is magical. And every new time I listen to this, these songs start to come more to life, and you notice that the melodies, they get better and better, and there's so much to offer. This is such a rich album. If you come across it, yeah, I constantly say that. Buy it, but it's an amazing album. Really, one of the great hidden gems of the 60s. Now, number 1 spot on this list. Yeah, I can hold my hand on the price tag, but everybody's already seen that this is the White Album. The Beatles, the White Album, and this for me is a magical album. I'm a filmmaker, and the first long screenplay I ever wrote when I was 17, 18 years old. It took me a long time because 90 pages are a lot to fill in, and I went behind my desk after school, midnight hours. I put on this record and I was writing, and when 1.5 hours passed, I put this album on again. I listened to this on repeat. The White Album means so much to me. And there are people who say, oh, the White Album should have been better, as it would have been a single disc, and that's bullshit, because those silly songs in between, the quirky ones, they give this album the unique experimental quality. The Beatles were onto something else, and the fact that there are these strange off little songs in between makes the entirety of this album a unique experience. If you think that this is a messy album, you haven't listened carefully enough, because it is brilliantly crafted. I think it might even be the best double album around. There is a unity to it, and the White Album is, in my opinion, the best Beatles album. Now, what I'm holding here is a first British stereo pressing. Sounds amazing, like the first time I listened to this album. The mono version is also good. I have 2014 mono version, but I think the stereo version comes more to life. I prefer some of the takes on there better. Some of the things on the mono version are better, but mono stereo, you either way with this album, you're going the right way, because it's the White Album, and the White Album is amazing. Now, those are my top 5 best albums from 1968. I'm curious what you guys think, and I'll see you at the next video. Bye.